There is a stillness beneath everything you think you are, a quiet, unshakable presence that watches silently as life unfolds. But most people never meet this presence. Instead, they become entangled with what is not real, with the mind, with the story, with the voice in the head that says, I am this, I am that, I need, I must, I should. This is the surface self, a collection of memories, roles, fears, desires, and endless mental labels. It fights, it clings. It fears being diminished. It is threatened constantly because it exists only as a mental construct. When someone criticizes you, the mind reacts. When life changes, the mind panics. Because what is built on thoughts can be destroyed by other thoughts. What is built on form can be shattered by the formless movement of life. But Eckhart Tolle reminds us, whatever is deeply real cannot be threatened, because that which is truly real is not the mind, not the story, not the mask. It is the space behind it all. It is the awareness itself, watching, timeless, untouched. The suffering arises when you mistake the noise for who you are, when you forget the screen and become lost in the movie. But when you turn your attention inward, when you pause and simply become aware of being aware, a doorway opens, a doorway into something that has never left you, something that cannot be broken, cannot be diminished, and cannot be threatened. Look closely. How much of your life has been spent defending something that doesn't even truly exist? Defending an image, a collection of opinions, a fragile sense of me. The mind believes, I am what others think of me. I am what I own. I am what I achieve. And so the mind becomes a prisoner of circumstances, a prisoner of constant comparison, validation, and fear of loss. But step back just a little and notice all of it is temporary. The body changes, situations change, relationships come and go, status rises and falls, and with every shift, the mind trembles as if its very existence were on the line. Yet, there is something deeper, a presence that doesn't tremble, a quiet, boundless spaciousness that has been with you since before memory began. Eckhart Tolle calls it being. It is not a belief. It is not something to achieve. It is what remains when you stop chasing, when you stop resisting, when you stop trying to become anything. In the silence between thoughts, it reveals itself, not as something new, but as something ancient, eternal, familiar. The felt sense of I am, not I am this or I am that. Simply, I am. And in that space, there is peace, a peace so deep it cannot be threatened by anything the world does or fails to do. But why? Does it feel like life is constantly threatening us? Because the false self, the superficial me, is made entirely out of thought. It lives as a mental narrative, a story constructed from memories, fears, and expectations. And what is the nature of all stories? They are fragile, fleeting, dependent on constant reinforcement. A single word, a glance, a failure, or a sudden change can shatter the illusion of who you think you are. When someone criticizes you, when a relationship ends, when money disappears, when plans collapse, it feels almost as if you are collapsing. But pause and look deeper. Who exactly is being threatened? Can awareness itself be damaged by words? Can presence be diminished by events? Can the silent witness inside you be harmed by anything external? This is the great confusion of the human condition, mistaking the image for the reality, mistaking the menu for the meal. When the mind is identified with form, with roles, with possession, with status, then every shift in the external world feels like a personal attack. But reality, true reality, is not made of thought. It is not a story. It is not an opinion. It is the timeless, formless, unnameable field of consciousness itself. This is what Eckhart Tolle points to when he says, "Whatever is deeply real cannot be threatened. Not your job, not your reputation, not your social identity. None of these are truly who you are. What is deeply real is the stillness behind every sound, the spaciousness behind every experience, the awareness watching even your most painful thoughts without judgment. And the miracle is this: the moment you recognize that you are not the noise, not the story, not the restless seeking, but the awareness behind it all, a profound freedom arises, a serenity untouched by the storms of life, a clarity that no chaos, no failure, no loss can ever disturb. And so, the invitation is simple, but not always easy. It is to stop. Stop searching for security. Stop clinging to identities. Stop negotiating with life as if it owes you something. Instead, turn your attention inward, not towards the restless voice, not towards the endless stream of thoughts, but towards the silent space in which all thoughts arise and dissolve. Notice that even the thought, "I am not good enough," arises. It floats in awareness and it fades. The thought, "I am successful," arises. It too floats and dissolves. The pain of yesterday, the joy of tomorrow, the fears, the hopes, all of them, like clouds passing across a sky that remains untouched. The sky has never once been harmed by the storms that pass through it. And so too, your true nature has never been harmed by anything that has ever happened to you. But this realization cannot be merely intellectual. It cannot be borrowed from a book or a teacher, or even from these words. It must be seen directly, felt, known within the stillness of your own being. Pause right now. Feel. There is something here, something that has always been here. Before this moment, before your name, before the story of me, there was awareness, pure, untouched, silent, radiant, without needing to shine. And what arises when this is recognized is the profound peace that Eckhart Tolle describes, a peace that does not depend on circumstances, a peace that is not about controlling life, but about no longer being controlled by the illusions of the mind. When you live, rooted in the awareness of your true nature, you are no longer a prisoner of every passing thought. You are no longer swept away by every wave of fear or desire or doubt. Life continues. Pain may arise, loss may happen, joy, sorrow, success, failure. All the colors of existence continue to paint themselves across the canvas of your life, but the canvas remains untouched. And in this realization, you taste a freedom so vast that words can only gesture towards it, but never capture. Whatever is deeply real cannot be threatened. Let these words not just be a concept, but a doorway back to the silent truth of who and what you have always been. Not the name, not the role, Not the seeker, not the story, but the stillness, the presence, the awareness that watches it all, unmoved, unbreakable, eternal.